The Fusion Firearms XF Pro, the not a Glock clone. Finally, it's in black and white. Thank you, Fusion Firearms, for settling something I've been arguing for over a year from the original airbox. This is an aluminum frame, awesome little compact pistol. At least we're about to find out. Coming up next, you'll see my absolute first shots through the gun. Full magazine plus one. We'll do multi-mag to see how it runs with other Glock pattern magazines. Take it to the What's at Dinner table to see what the gun eats. The spinner for sights and trigger control. 5 shots from 7 yards on a 1-inch square for practical accuracy. And then give you my concluding thoughts. All coming up next on Welcome to the Pacific Northwest. There's a break in the rain, so I'm going to try to get as much of this done as I can before I get totally soaked. My absolute first shots through the XF Pro. 10 rounds of PMC bronze is what I'm using. Got a, ooh, I like that birthday bump. Did it chamber? Yes. A 12-inch round target out there at 20 yards. Normally I would be doing the zoom to show you that and verify. You'll just have to trust me on this one with the umbrella over the camera. It's really awkward for me to reach under there. First shots. How do we do? Low left. It's a Glock thing, right? Ha ha ha. Oh, it might be me overdriving. Fixed it. As he proceeds to miss. What can I say? I'm recovering from a 3-day flu, haven't eaten in a couple days, and that's after 2 weeks overseas with a 10-hour jet lag kicking me into that. But hopefully you guys saw there, it's pretty smooth, soft shooting, even for somebody totally out of, no birthday bump this time, totally out of shooting condition. Now we'll do full magazine plus one using the included magazine. Got to really smack it to get that full round in there. I did notice with the included mags, round 15 is a little tough. Not impossible, not as bad as other ones I've felt, but not too bad. And I'm going to dump these in the dirt off to the side of the steel, so I want to get a feel for the speed rhythm of this, riding this nice little thumb rest that's on here. Actually, let's try to stay on the steel. Shot at my wood, missed low and left quite a few times, but that doesn't matter. The point was, does it run fully stuffed? And yes, indeed it did, without any hiccup with the included mags. Now, one of the 4 parts that are Glock compatible with this are magazines, which some people like because there's lots of Glock pattern magazines out there. So which ones does it run with? I've got a selection of 8 mags here for the multi-mag test. 3 rounds in each just to see how it runs. We're also going to test and feel fitment. Sorry, I did not grab my usual 8, so we've got some surprises in here. First one is the Bull Armory, went in very smooth. And drops free. Next up is the Go Safe mag. This is that lockable magazine for folks who have to forfeit control of their firearm but don't want to necessarily unload it. Fits very nicely in there. Drops free. Now we have the Daria magazine. This is what came with the DY9. Fits in fact, that floor plate. So far, all of the extended floor plates have looked really nice with these grips. No issues. A factory Glock mag, because some of us still have some of those. Of course, ran well. The Yagaman mag. I haven't seen these in a while. It's got a funky rest on there that on some guns works really well to give a pinky rest. Here you can see we've got kind of a ledge, but it still scoops my hand under the gun. Hot brass. X-Tar magazine. Now this one is longer. This is an 18 rounder, but it's the size they make. I point this out because these are some of the least expensive magazines you can get out there, and so far so good. Now whenever you're inserting a magazine that is longer than the stock and doesn't have a little spacer or something on there, you don't want to slam it home. That risks damaging either the insides of the gun, the mag release, the mag itself. Just insert till it clicks. Feel the lock. No issues and kicks right out. Now the new guy, the all-metal Metgar magazine. By shedding that silly polymer skin, they allow a little more capacity. You can see this one has a little spacer bit on it to fit. No issues in the clear drop. And lastly, Torque Mag. This is also an oversized one because my shorter Torque Mag broke. Definitely oversized. Excellent. I figured out how to aim, remembered how to shoot. We've got a pile of magazines that are compatible with this. That means what's next is a what's for dinner to see what the gun will eat. I will use all these magazines in that test to expedite it, especially while it's not dumping down rain on us. If we have an issue with any of the loads in a non-factory included magazine, I'll swap back to the factory included magazine to make it a fair test. It's that time again. What's for dinner time? As I scroll past these, you'll see we're going from 50 grain up to 165 grain today. Each of these loads has a different bullet weight, shape, overall length, ogive in different location. We've got different case materials. The objective here is to see what will the gun eat. Will it feed a load from side lock? Will it cycle and feed another load of the same type from the energy of the first? Third round, reduce variables, and then we'll lock open on empty. Testing past that is a magazine test, which you're welcome to do. If you want to try any of these yourself, check the pinned comment where I will link to sources of this as I can find them. 7 yards back from some 2-inch circles for our what's for dinner. Pardon while I reach back and forth, but I had to keep things under cover. And again, couldn't do the zoom trick because got a big ass umbrella over the camera. First up is our 50 grain Liberty Ammunition Civil Defense 50 grain plus P. As I stated in the tabletop, 50 plus P ammunition is not necessary for a 4-inch barrel, but just in case, let's give it a try. Circle 1. Didn't print the best, but it ran. Circle 2 is some Fiocchi frangible 100 grain. Haven't seen this stuff on the market in a while. This is in the Yagam mag. Maybe that stuff should be back on the market. Circle 3 is some SIG 365 115 grain. This is a V-Crown. And remember, the 365 ammo is meant for the shorter barrels. It's one of those compensate for less than 4-inch loads. Nickel-plated case, just like the Liberty. Very nice, though slightly lower, interestingly. Circle 4 is the Hag, Hornady American Gunner. This is in the Daria magazine. It's one of the few times when it's legal to shoot the Hag. No issues. Circle 5, we're on to specialty ammunition, 115, 124 grain, all point. I'll have the details in that pinned comment. Interesting stuff that's new to the channel. More thunderous, but grouped very nicely. Circle 6 in the Metgar magazine, we've got the PMC Suffix 124 grain. Maybe it was meant to be the end of their development of handgun loads, of defensive handgun loads. Grammar joke. Also shot nicely, no issues. Circle 7, crowd favorite, the Federal HST 124 grains. Nickel-plated case. This is the law enforcement load that has the sealed primer. And it comes in 50-round boxes. Definitely a starter recoil. Smells a little bit like mustard and chlorine. That shot well. Circle 8, the Hornady Critical Duty. 8 AM, anyone? 135 grain in the Full Armor magazine. No issues. Now on to 8, the Fiocchi Defense Dynamics 147 grain. This is in the Torque Mag. How am I off account? I'm off somehow. But I did not miss any targets. So maybe I pulled out too many loads of ammunition. Well, that makes our heaviest the S&B 150 grain subsonic. This is a snub nose round. Very soft shooting. And best grouping yet, and I can tell you, I can feel the difference in the frame design that I pointed out in the tabletop. This gun is much more comfortable to shoot. 8, everything we threw at it. Even had a bonus, heck, just because it's out here, why not? The Stolf from Ammo Inc., 165 grain. I'll throw it up at the 10 ring there. This is a super long, slow, heavy bullet meant for shooting suppressed, but it's fun in handguns too. Up at the 10 ring. It's like a cap gun. And grouped well. Now that we know that it eats things, let's do some sights and trigger control over the spinner. That is a 6-inch spinner target. We're back here about 13 yards away. I've got 8 rounds of that same PMC bronze. I use a spinner target for sights and trigger control because it's a small target at distance, and as I hit it, it starts to move. The better I hit it, the faster it moves, the more important timing a well-placed shot becomes if I want to keep that momentum going. So, it's a good challenge. See how we do here. Sorry about the no paint, guys. The rain that obviously you're not seeing at all now meant that I didn't want to risk painting. But here we go. TKO rather. Yes, I doffed a layer because, well, the R word wasn't happening anymore and I was getting warm. There's a power word for you that doesn't get used often enough. Sights and trigger control, black dot rear, white dot front, pretty darn good. The only thing better out of a front that I could see would be maybe having something like a night vision or something glowing there. However, this is set up for a dot, which I imagine many of you are going to use. The trigger, very crisp and predictable, much better than it felt in the tabletop. Tabletop, I talked about how I couldn't really feel a defined wall. See, it just kind of goes. But that really doesn't matter on your first shot. And every shot thereafter comes from a nice reset that is just in front of the wall, which makes follow-up shots very easy to do. This is yet another example where dry fire and live fire trigger aren't always the same thing. This was pretty good. I had no trouble with the spinner. Now let's do some practical accuracy. Practical accuracy is 5 shots from 7 yards using that same basic ammo PMC bronze at a 1-inch square. That 1-inch square tends to be about the same size as the front sight post at this distance, making it a great aiming point. This is also where I collect up my thoughts. Not bad, still slightly low and left. That's probably shooter error. Aftershots for the XF Pro. As a fan of the original Airmox X-Fire, but feeling it had potential, just wasn't quite there yet. I gotta say, I think the Fusion XF Pro is that potential, or at least most of it. There's still some things that I personally would change a little bit. I don't know if they could be, but overall, a very nice, soft handling gun. You know, we got in this arms race for tiny and lightweight guns a while back that lasted a while, and sure, they're great for carry, but they're not so great to shoot. And what happens with that is you end up training with something else other than your carry gun. This is a little bit heavier, being that it's an all-metal gun, but it's certainly soft enough to shoot and comfortable to shoot. If you can operate a Glock, you can operate this. If you can feed a Glock, you can feed this. I might change the front sight, or if you're a dot person, maybe you want to try a dot on it, but it shot very nicely. And one of the things that I really appreciated, that with the tail extending down a little bit lower here like this, is it meant for a great index spot for inserting magazines. All those mags that I inserted were very easy to do. It also meant that I had a more stable grip on the gun. That, combined with serrations going the correct direction, going laterally to help resist muzzle flip, of which there's minimal in this. Is there a difference in slide weight between this and the original? We'll see that in the full review article. I'll weigh them and compare them, but it sure feels soft shooting. The thumb rest on the side certainly doesn't help. It is built in, it's part of the aluminum. So if you're concerned about holster compatibility, check with Fusion Firearms. I'm sure they'll have a list. If you've got a Kydex holster that you want to fit that's close enough, it's time for a heat gun. It's still an incredible value gun. It costs more than the original. When the X-Fire came out, I said, hey guys, this price is too low to believe. Jump on this while you can. It's probably just an experiment to test the waters market kind of thing. And that's what it seemed to be. Now that it's in American hands and some changes have been made, of course, cost has to go up. But you're also getting more gun for this, and I still think it's an incredible value for what it is. A cool piece that's definitely different if you run with a bunch of Glock 19 guys or in that crowd. This is kind of the cheat mode, because it generally fits those numbers and specs, but keep in mind it is not a clone. I've been saying that since the beginning. There are only 4 parts on here that interchange safely and easily with the Glock parts. The rest of it is unique. So thank you to Airmox for making that possible. Thank you to Fusion Firearms for bringing it to the US and adding a few little tweaks that saved my hand. This beaver tail was one of the big ones that kind of prevented me from loving the X-Fire. When I wanted to run it fast, not only was the trigger a little bit heavy for running quickly and precisely, but it didn't have a little curve back there and it bit my hand. That was just my hand fit, so I didn't really fault the gun, but this now fits my hand and works really well. So if you're looking for something a little heavier, a little more comfortable on the range, that might also be carry, though slightly heavy. I mean, you could throw some lightweight ammo in it and call it a day. It's up to you. That's all a matter of personal preference. I carry a big heavy gun in the wintertime. It's just something I get used to. But with this 4-inch barrel, you're getting proper performance at a 9mm, and you're also getting something that's very soft and easy to shoot on the range. Thank you guys for 10 years of support, and we'll see you in the next video. GBGuns, and I do 2 level. And I do 2 level. Andrew P, Joseph T, Randy A, L-G, Peter A, Tom, Moises S, Fast Eddie, Tylo, Twan, 155, Brian P, Sky King, Derek S, Jr., Donald H, Jenna I, Greg K, David F. Thanks for the tip level. David B, Kratos, the Godslayer, Andrew B, Lee H, Christopher J, J.S., Farhan and Gryphons, Jeff O, Michael W, David G, Old Katuba, Robert B, Ohio, Crumpler, Steve of Briscoe County Jr., Rich R, Red Skay, Waha, Ed C, Fierce, Fed, 6, Uncle Munzie, Alan B, Laura P, Angel C, Tattoo Johnny, Justin H, Brian K. Keeping things honest level. Gary B, Leif S, Danielle D, Ed Z, JJ, Brad, and